You're listening to the Talking Walls fans' reactions for the 24-25 Premier League season.
I'm over the moon, genuinely. I can't believe it. 4-1 kind of flatters us in the game, but when they went down to 10 men, I was more nervous than when they had 11. And you just have to say, 9 months ago I tweeted, I'd take Matheus Cunha over Haaland. I prefer my footballers with more technical ability. And I stand by it to this day, and I got cooked incredibly hard for that tweet. And I stand by it. I watch Haaland every week, and he's prolific, I get it. He can score goals, one-on-one opportunities, he's perfect. But the players around him are brilliant. Matheus Cunha magics goals from absolutely nowhere over and over and over again, and he's been doing it every single week for us. Without Matheus Cunha, we would be rock bottom of the Premier League still, and completely devoid of any ideas, and Gary O'Neill wouldn't have a job. He is just the most brilliant footballer, probably one of the best to ever put on the shirt. And he's still so young to the point where I'm thinking this guy could go on and elevate even more and go on to be one of the best players in the world. There's a rough shout that we will ever be able to hold on to him for more than past this season, because there's going to be some big clubs sniffing around. But aside from Matheus Cunha's 10 out of 10 performance today, I thought a lot of the team was brilliant. Lemina's being asked to play central defender out of position, and I thought he didn't put a foot wrong the entire game. The lineup came out and it was very doom and gloom, and I thought we're in for a long afternoon here. And it turned out that the long afternoon was for Fulham. Brilliant performances all round. João Gomez everywhere, up and down the pitch. Incredible cardiovascular system, it has to be said. Andre, I thought, was brilliant. Semedo wasn't his best going forward, but was absolutely fine defensively. I thought on another day, Semedo had a really great opportunity to put it across the box for 1-0 for Strand Larsen, and we could have been leading the game from the get-go. Didn't turn out that way, but a lot of the team was brilliant. I thought Rodrigo Gomez today, slotting in 90 minutes for him. Well, maybe not 90, I don't know when he was taken off, but brilliant. Just taking players on, winning back, showing some intent, showing some passion, desire is what we really need on the wing now that Neto's gone, and I thought he stepped up that brilliantly. The only person that I would say is that I can't believe that they survived for 90 minutes today was Jean-Ric Bellegarde. I don't really know what he's offering to the team, if I'm being entirely honest, and I think Carlos Forbes probably would have been better, especially when they went down to 10 to break. But I understand that he probably wanted Bellegarde in there for more possession. Either way, you can't really complain with the performance whatsoever. You win 4-1, even Guedes is coming on, and his GA per 90 must be absolutely fantastic as well, because he comes on and he seems to get assists and goals. Before the international break felt like a real turning point for us, and now this performance is brilliant. And then we go to Bournemouth come to us next week, and they don't have Semenyo, their talisman, because he's banned. So it's a really great opportunity for us to stack 3 wins together and completely put the relegation thoughts to the back of the mind. So I'm buzzing. It's not, for once, Wolves doesn't ruin the weekend, and I'm very, very happy about it.
Well, for the first time since February this year, Wolves have won an away fixture in the Premier League. Much improved would be my overall assessment. I think all things considered, when you take take the fact that it was a hugely kind of shuffled around team, especially in the defensive line. You've got Lemina slotting in at centre-back with no Santi and no Craig Dawson. I think overall pretty assured. I think going forward, that isn't our problem. I think everyone knew that already. But there are still lots of mistakes happening, giving the ball away in key areas, which need ironing out. Unforced errors galore in that first half. There were good parts and bad parts of the first half. The bad parts are really bad, purely because we're giving the ball away in positions which are causing us problems, and that's where the first goal came from. Catalogue of errors, but I don't want to be too down considering we've just won a football match 4-1. Going forward, I thought we were really good. Decision making was much better than usual on the whole. Oh, I was covering the camera, my apologies. Decision making was a lot better on the whole. Matheus Cunha is a different level, far too good for us, and I think he's one of those players where I'd say enjoy him while you can, because I don't think we'll be seeing him in a Wolves shirt next season, so enjoy it while you can. I thought overall there were some really good performances. I thought Nelson was solid. I thought Lamina was excellent considering he was playing out of position. I thought Gomez made a good account of himself, Rodrigo that is. He's a ball of energy, and I thought that was quite handy to have on that far left-hand side. João Gomez, very good again. Andre, really calm, really assured. That's what you get from him. And he doesn't look, he plays the game like he doesn't care, but it kind of works for him, and therefore it works for us. Big stroke of luck with Silva being a bit overzealous with his substitutions, making 5 subs before 75 minutes were on the clock. Then when they have Anderson go down and he can't play on, that gives us 15 minutes to play against 10 men, which was ideal for us. I think it really kind of took off the pressure, considering, the vast majority of Fulham's players were forward players. So, good finishing, good decision-making going forward. Issues to iron out defensively, but overall 4-1 win away from home. Our first away win since February. You can't complain too much. It's good to be back on the channel. I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon.
Thanks for joining me. Craven Cottage on Saturday the 23rd of November 2024, where it finished Fulham 1, Wolves 4. Yeah, you didn't mishear me. Fulham 1, Wolves 4. It's about time we had not just a result but a performance like that. But at the start of the day, there was every reason to be a bit concerned, because me and my mates, we were messing each other and we were fearing the worst when we saw the starting 11 that Dawson and Santi Bueno were both injured. So it was a makeshift starting 11, and the players like Andre and Bellegarde and Rodrigo Gomez, who hadn't started, I think, since the first game against Arsenal, they were featured in the starting 11. And as I say, we were texting each other and we were fearing the worst. But it was almost like a free hit for us. And for the first time, we wore the third strip, the purple. So, we were playing against a couple of the former players with Raul Jimenez, who started, and Adama on the bench, and there's always that fear that those former players are going to come back and haunt you, but thankfully they didn't. It's always a game of fine margins, and so it turned out to be, because we went 1-0 down in 20 minutes, and also in the first half it could have been so different, because Raul Jimenez had a shot that smacked against the post, and just imagine if that had gone in. But it's a good run for us, because the players are quite confident after having gone 3 games unbeaten, and also scoring in all games except for the first one against Arsenal. And so on 30 minutes it was we showed a lot of character. That man Cunha, he's on hot streak. He got his 6th goal of the season, and he got a rightfully deserved equaliser. But there was a bit of concern when Semedo went down injured, but thankfully he got up and carried on, and he went to half time at 1-1, and we battled on, and Wilson hit the bar. The keeper Saar was beating all ends up, so we got away with that one, but we battled on. And João Gomez, good to see him getting a goal, and after that it became a bit of a procession. It was almost a bit frustrating, because we have like wave after wave of attacks and we didn't finish them off until towards the end, when Cunha, at 87 minutes, got his 7th goal of the season, and then in injury time it was good to see it was Lamina break, pass the ball up to Strand Larsen, who queued it up for Guedes, who gleefully slotted it home to make it 4-1. But again, I say it's a game of fine margins. We're up to 17th out of the bottom 3. Goal difference improved to -8, and the next game is at home to Bournemouth. So where does that leave Gary O'Neill? Is all the pressure of him eased, or is he still under pressure? But because everybody was saying that with the run, after such a tough start, with the run of games in November and December, that we should be able to pick up enough points to get out of trouble, and that's looking the case. So we got Bournemouth at home next week, and then we got Ipswich at home in December. There's possibly one game between that, but yeah, we fully deserved. We can't moan. I mean, there's chances what we could have put away towards the end, but we didn't. And 4-1 away in the Premier, you can't really complain about that, even though that was almost 60 to 40% possession to them. But who cares? Our keeper only had to make 2 saves. With full value for the win. It's about time performance. We had a performance like that. The players needed it, the fans needed it, the club needed it. Out in the bottom 3, the only way is up the Wolves. Thanks for joining me.
Wow, well, who could have seen that coming? Wolves beating Fulham by 4-1 to get their 2nd win of the season and their 2nd win in a row. 6 goals in 2 games. And only 1 conceded, which makes a real nice change, particularly with the lack of defensive depth that we had today, with only 1 fit senior centre-back being Totti Gomez. But I have to say, really impressed. Honestly, to a man, I think Wolves were excellent, especially in the second half. I think the first half looked a little bit ropey, especially with the goal. I think we could have done better to close it down. Poor from Rodrigo Gomez and also Ait-Nouri to not close down Iwobi's shot. But listen, it's Alex Iwobi. Honestly, the strangest bogey player. I don't know what Wolves have done to this guy, but obviously he just turns into prime R9 every time we play him. An excellent goal to be fair to him, but we should have closed it down a little bit better. But the second half, my God, so good. We get ourselves back into the game at the end of the first half, which I think gave us that platform to build off on. Lamina, heroic performance at centre-back. Really, really impressed. Read the game extremely well and just looked good on the ball, to be honest, which when you have a centre mid and centre back, you sort of expect them to at least be a little bit more comfortable in possession. But he was really good, really good. And the assist for Cunha's goal is just so good. I mean, when you actually go back and watch it, Cunha hasn't even started. He's barely started his run. He's midway inside the Fulham half. Lamina pings it out to him, sees it so far ahead of the play. Cunha onto it, and again, Cunha first touch is just is incredible, and the finish as well. I mean, where we'd be without Matheus Cunha, I have no idea. Well, we'd probably be dead and buried already, to be honest. 2 games in a row, he's got a goal and an assist. Just incredible player. And that, like I said earlier, gave us a platform to build off in the second half. First half, we can just dismiss that. Let's talk about the good stuff. We haven't had a lot of good stuff to talk about. Just looked far more comfortable in possession. Our attacks had a lot more rhythm. And I think the midfield pairing of Gomez and Andre, which I've been wanting to see this season, finally getting its first chance to show what it can do. And really impressed. 2 midfielders that complement each other really well. Andre just gets the dirty work done, wins us the ball back. And when you get João Gomez in advanced positions is where, for me, I think he's at his most dangerous. When he's in and around the box, he can drive at defenders, he can pick those sort of more difficult passes. But again, his finishing is a really underrated asset to his game. And we've seen it time and time again. When he gets into good positions, he's going to score. And he did just that. He did it against Palace. He did it again against Fulham today. And a really good pass from Matheus Cunha again, just to slip him through and clinical finish, centre-forwards finish, and completely turns the game on its head. And obviously we saw Wolves do that against Palace, so you do have those sort of jitters in you, and especially with the defensive issues we've had this season. But they stood firm. I thought Totti was excellent, Lamina was excellent, Semedo, again, really solid performance from him. Ait-Nouri looked a bit shaky at times, but overall was good and managed to gain us a lot of yards on the attack. Gomez sort of struggled, and Bellegarde as well, similarly, I think lost the ball quite a few times. But, I think it didn't really matter when we have someone as good as Cunha on the pitch. And look, his second goal is just absolutely ridiculous. I think it was Gomez who actually got the assist for that one. But first time, I think it was, into the top far corner. Again, second game in a row. He scored the absolute banger against Southampton last week. Another peach of a goal this week. And listen, Ruben Neves came back and watched us, and we've scored 2 screamers 2 games in a row. So, I don't know. I think maybe his spirit is still with us. But yeah, excellent finish. Really good. And again, the form that he's in at the moment, and the form that Gary O'Neill has got him in, I think is something that is going to be crucial for us this season. And I think credit has to go to Gary O'Neill, to be honest, because he's had a lot of, sort of negative press, myself included, but I think he gets the best out of our forward players, and that's going to be key in us staying up. And I think if we reinforce the defence in January, I think, we should be okay. Honestly, it's almost worth keeping Gary O'Neill for just how much he's getting out of Cunha. But yeah, phenomenal third goal. And the fourth goal, just to wrap it up as well, Gonzalo Guedes again. Really, really tidy finish. Hasn't had a lot of game time, but he's got probably a pretty good minutes to goal contribution record. But yeah, overall, excellent performance. Ropey first half, completely switched up with an excellent, competent, professional second half display. Counter-attacking football at its best. Wolves just constantly opening up Fulham, and Matheus Cunha at the heart of everything good, and João Gomes also as well. Those two were just tearing through Fulham. So yeah, another excellent win. Unbeaten in 4, 2 draws, 2 wins. And yeah, we're looking pretty good. I think, honestly, the narrative around Gary O'Neill might be changing, and the narrative around Wolves might be changing. So yeah, good to sign off with another good win.
Hello everyone, Liam Berry here to talk about Wolves 4, Fulham 1. And when the lineups came out, if you were to tell me that the score would be 4-1 and you didn't tell me who won, I would have put my mortgage. I would have took out a second mortgage and put it on Fulham, because they're in form. They're doing really. I think they were 7th before we played them, and we're away. I think the only team to beat them is Aston Villa this season at Craven Cottage. So yeah, that is a huge win. We at times this season we just don't look like we can defend. But for some reason, the formula today was Mario Lemina next to Totti Gomez. 2 players who, well, definitely Mario Lemina, he's definitely not a centre-back in any shape or form. But it looked like it today. And Totti Gomez, who I think his best position, usually in the back 4, is at left-back. So, bewildered is an understatement. I think I'm very surprised how well they did together. That's not me belittling what they did, but I was very surprised at how good they defended, and our structure today defensively was so good. And it's been so bad this season. We've got the worst defence in the league. I'm not sure if we still do, but we definitely did going into the game. But yeah, Mario Lemina had an absolute top quality game. Back 4 of Semedo, Lemina, Totti, and Aït-Nouri. And in all of their Wolves careers, there's definitely been times that they've been very shaky defensively. So yeah, that was a huge game. There's a huge win. I think their goal, Iwobi, there's not much you can do. He's going to score against Wolves. He had to. Obviously, in a 4-1 win, you can bet that Iwobi is the one to score that one goal for Fulham. There's not much you can do about that. It's just a really, really good strike. But yeah, apart from that, Matheus Cunha is so good. I almost don't like how good he is, because obviously, touch wood, if he gets injured, I don't know how we're going to be able to cope. But he's so good. Those 2 goals, outstanding. The second goal, I didn't think he'd be able to top the first goal, because the first goal, the intelligence to find that run, and again, Lemina to play that really, really good ball. But it was almost Bergkamp-esque with Cunha, and then the second goal was even better. So he's in really good form at the minute, and a lot of our play is going to go through him. It's going to be going through him. So the longer he can keep this up, obviously the better for us. And we're out of the relegation zone, and it's solely down to Cunha at the minute. But yeah, that is huge. That is such a big win. And I've not been O'Neill's biggest advocate this season, but today we played so well second half, and we really deserved that win. I think it helped with, I think it was Joachim Adamson who went off injured, and they'd already made 5 subs, so they had to play with 10 men. So it really, really did help that when that happened, and then we scored the next 2 goals, because Fulham were piling the pressure on when he was still on the pitch, when they still had 11 men. So it came at a really good time. I think luck was on our side with that, in a sense. So yeah, no, but this win didn't come down to luck. We played so well. João Gomes as well. He did really well. So yeah, it's a really top performance. Hopefully we can tie that into Bournemouth, and our unbeaten streak is still going somehow. I think that's 4 games now, 2 draws, 2 wins. But those points are so huge. And now, obviously, we're out of the relegation zone, above Palace, which Palace is still a good team, I think. But yeah, that again, that's a huge win, and hopefully we can take it into Bournemouth at Molineux as well. So that'll really help. But yeah, top win.
Well, what do you say about that? I don't know, really. I don't think any of us saw that coming at 10-3 at 2 o'clock. There's a lot of kicking off on Twitter about that team, myself included. What a win. You'd be happy with that win with our first choice defence out there. I'd be doubtful of us defending that well with our first choice defence out there, to be honest. Mario Lemina, outstanding. He's been below par for a lot of this season, to be honest. But just stepped in at the back today, seamless. Incredible from him. I've got a lot of time for Gomez and Cunha in the last couple of weeks. Just snowballs and vibes. Just deciding they're going to keep us up on their own, essentially. And Mateus Cunha, honestly, what a player. Week by week, he's just skyrocketing up the ranking of our best ever players, I think. He's incredible, isn't he? Like, what else can you say? He'd play, I think. I think he's in the first 11 of any other team in this league. We're so lucky to have him. Without him, we'd be in real trouble, wouldn't we? But there we go. Out the relegation zone, onwards and upwards. Things somehow, out of nowhere, are looking a little bit better, aren't they? Cheers, lads. Thanks very much. See you next time.